This week's demonstration is brought to you in association with busymits.com, the online craft social network.
Hello and welcome to the Crafts channel. Today we have a demonstration on how to use this wonderful butterfly decoupage kit. It's worth £8.99 and in fact it's free to all readers of the Crafts Beautiful May 2013 issue. But don't miss out on an issue, make sure you subscribe to the magazine by going to www.craftyclub.net. It will be delivered straight to your door before it hits the shops, and today we have Corinne Bradd with us to show us this wonderful little kit. Hello.
Hi Chelsea, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad.
Wonderful.
Now this kit is lovely actually. We've got some special paper here that's been designed for us exclusively by Jenny Ellery.
Lovely.
So in the kit you get 50 centimetres square of this tissue paper, and it's a glazed tissue paper. You've probably seen similar stuff to it, but what it means is you can tear it quite easily, but when you apply glue to the top of it, it doesn't just fall apart.
Okay.
It's got some substance to it. So you get your big square of paper, you get a lovely laser cut MDF filigree butterfly shape.
Lovely.
Length of ribbon to hang it with. You get your glue and you get a brush. So you've got everything you need. You can just sit down immediately and make the butterfly. I think you've got it just over there, the one that's finished. Just a lovely little decoration to hang up in a child's bedroom or on the wall somewhere. And there's so much paper in the kit that you don't just be reserved to doing the butterfly. I nipped down the local car boot sale. I've decorated a picture frame with it here.
That's lovely. I like that one.
That's come out really well. Now I left the frame pine underneath that so you can see it's almost mottled. Where you've got a slightly creamier background is where you've got two layers of paper overlapping. But there's also a jug there, which is just a plain old antique porcelain jug. You could use it at a push, but it's only really wiped clean, because what you do is when you've done your decoupage, you put another coat of PVA over the top of it to make it wipe clean. So but don't put it in the dishwasher, because all the paper will fall off and clog up your dishwasher. You won't be very popular.
No, but that's lovely,
but once you start doing this, you'll be looking around the house looking for whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Now we're going to start. I'm just going to show you how to do this butterfly. I tend to take my paper and fold it into a long strip, and then I very simply just use a ruler to tear off narrow strips of the paper.
That's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, dead easy. Don't try and do it all in one thing, because if the paper's not torn with the grain of the paper, then it gets quite rough on the edges.
Fair enough.
And then what I'm going to do is open out the strip, and because it's such a small design that you're covering, you don't want big bits of paper, because what will happen if you wrap a big piece of paper around it, you're going to end up having layer over layer.
Okay.
I'm just going to tear sort of probably less than 1 centimetre wide strips off here.
They're quite small, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that enables you to get in the more intricate details.
Yeah, well this is it, and you can do that with the brush. It's quite easy to do as long as you place the paper, you know, sensibly. Don't go and stick a big piece of paper over there, because you won't be able to then, you know, tuck it into the hole.
No, of course not, yeah.
So we'll tear a few more of these. Now, with the tube of glue that you get with the kit, I tend to put it on a saucer, because it's much easier than keep putting things down, squeezing it out. When you get your tube of glue, don't go, oh, it won't come out, it won't come out, because there is a secret little stopper underneath the nozzle.
That's going to stick to
it took me ages to find that one.
Oh, did it?
But I just squeeze my PVA onto an old saucer.
Lovely.
And then just begin. You don't need too much, just a little bit of PVA. Put it onto one side of the butterfly and down the sides. And then with the gluey brush, just pick up a piece of the glazed tissue paper and place it on the top. And then you can just tuck the edges down. Don't be too concerned about the back for the minute.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is the easiest way I found of doing this is covering the front of it first, bit by bit, and tucking them down.
And you always have the glazed side on the top?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, with this paper, you can see on the paper, you could use the other side of it.
Quite matte.
Yeah, it is quite matte. Once you put the glue over the top, it would come glossy again, but the print is not quite as vivid.
Okay.
I mean, there are, especially on that picture frame, because I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing because the TV was on in the background. There's several bits on there that aren't the right way around, but it doesn't make an awful lot of difference, and in fact, it adds to the variety of tone that you've got in there.
Nice and textured, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing I was going to suggest is, with the pattern on this, you can see there's quite a lot of cream on there, which is nice. It's a real vintage light design.
It really is.
But if you want to make sure you've got an overall pinkness to it, just watch how you place the pieces. I mean, there's half a pink flower here. So if I lay that there, that's now not going to stick because I've let the glue dry for too long. If I lay that there, and then you could have another pink piece here. You know, it's quite easy to arrange those pieces so you get the best look to your design. And the other thing is, if you think, oh, that bit looks really empty, just tear yourself a tiny piece of the pink and just lay it over the top.
That's simple enough, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of glue would help. Oh, that's upside down. There you go. Ever had one of those days? Me and glue.
It doesn't really matter because I suppose once it's finished, the overall look just blends in perfectly.
Well, this is it. And because the paper is so thin, you can keep going over it with the glue brush and it flattens it down. The other thing is, even if it looks wrinkled, as the glue dries, it tends to drop all those wrinkles out of it, so it's quite flat. So you can see here, I've covered, this is step by step, I've covered the whole of the front of one of the butterflies. All I've got to do now on the back is just fill in the gaps. If you were going to mount this butterfly on a like a wall canvas or something like that, then don't worry about doing the back. But it's quite nice, especially as we've got the hanging ribbon in the kit. It's quite nice to make sure that whichever way round it goes, it doesn't, you know, show a nasty blank MDF edge.
That's true. It looks lovely. I mean, the finishing product looks really, really effective.
Yeah, it does come out really
for anything
well.
Decoration.
What I would advise, though, tip-wise, is don't go, oh, you know, let's smother the whole thing with glue. You'll end up getting it all over your hands, and it will end up, you'll end up sticking to the paper, and when you move your thumb off it, the paper will come off with it. So I try and keep one hand completely free of glue, and the hand that I've got the brush in is what I'll use to tamp it down with my finger. Another good tip as well, actually, is when you're doing the central hole of the butterfly here, because you can't get the brush in there to flatten it down. If you get a pencil and just do that, it flattens it down really, really neatly. Yeah, so it is great. And as I say, the finished butterfly, all I've done is I've just threaded the ribbon through the hole in the top and tied a neat knot, cut the ribbon into a V, and it's a really pretty decoration. And you know, once you've started doing it, you'll be covering everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some ideas already. I like that. Definitely the jug's my favourite, I think. No, but that's wonderful.
Great.
Okay, well, thanks Corinne so much, and thanks for tuning in. To subscribe to the Crafts channel, remember you can subscribe to the Crafts Beautiful magazine as well to actually receive this wonderful kit. So thank you very much and see you next time.